Hi, this is the third video in our ongoing cybersecurity series focused on keeping your privacy and your well-being safe. In this part of the series, we're going to look at the mind games, the things that some app vendors are doing with their apps to make them habit forming and to keep us online. So we're going to explore some of the psychological tricks that some applications use to keep us connected and wanting more. And when I refer to applications, I'm referring to both web-based applications and phone-based applications. One of the things they're very good at is tempting us and making it a very frictionless experience to stay engaged. Basically, making it so we have as little to do as possible to just continue to be involved and immersed. There is a bottomless well of content. Certainly one of the challenges. I mean, you can just scroll on in so many of these applications and just continue to look for more and more content. They're tapping into our addictive natures, and this is absolutely something that these vendors are very good at. Many vendors have experts on staff to help understand how to leverage tools and techniques like these to keep us going and keep us connected. They're taking advantage of our desire for social approval, and they're in many cases just reducing or removing choice again to make it a frictionless experience. So let's dive in and look at some of these things a little further. In this video, we have a few slides that are very wordy, and I'm going to just pause and allow you to read them yourself before reflecting on them. So we've all experienced them and been exposed to the many ways that manufacturers and product vendors can get us hooked into using their products, in some cases quite literally, and in other cases more psychologically, that, it just things become must-have products and must-have experiences. And now with these ever-present digital devices, the scale and the scope of the problem and the potential, misuse of these tools is just terrifying. There are so many ways that vendors can do this type of thing. So here's a classic example. Amazon has been very good at this idea. And in fact, they were probably one of the more popular sites to ultimately popularize this idea that we now see replicated on other sites. You might also be interested in this. So if you bought this, you might want to look at that. It's a great idea, and in many cases, we may see some good stuff there. And another example that's not necessarily so helpful is Netflix and the idea that they're going to start this next episode for you in just 15 seconds, or 10 seconds, whatever it is, right? You don't even have the time to react. The next thing you know, you're watching it and you're sitting there longer than you should have been when maybe you weren't going to do that. So simple, classic techniques that literally PhD data scientists are thinking of. How do we get them to continue to consume content? Another thing that we all experience is just a bottomless pit of content. I mean, here we see Facebook, and you're surrounded by options on the left and the right, or scrolling down. And we see this on news sites and in Instagram, and you name it. It's just so common. You can, scroll and dig in and drill in forever at this endless content. They're also tapping into our addictive nature. So here we have another slide that I'd like you to please take a moment and read through. So here we have a couple examples of some experts in the field, and one of the experts at our universities that has helped to train them on this idea of making habit-forming products. I mean, it in and of itself is big business. We are collectively in the throes of a massive, harmful addiction that is the signature social issue of our time. This technology addiction is increasingly removing us from the direct experience of life, and that is consequently robbing us of our sense of peacefulness, security, stillness, and ease with ourselves. Now, this is a quote from the book, Your Happiness Was Hacked, Why Tech is Winning the Battle to Control Your Brain and How to Fight Back. And I'm going to share this book at the end of these next few slides because this is a great resource if you are interested in learning more about it. Here we have a quote about how applications are tapping into our addictive nature from Tristan Harris, who wrote a great book called How Technology is Hijacking Your Mind, from a magician and Google design ethicist. So go ahead and give that a read. So this, direct analogy of using apps to pulling the lever on a slot machine is certainly a very straightforward reference to the addictive nature of these devices. So looking back to that feature we saw on Netflix on a prior slide, I think one of the overall takeaways from this is that we're not giving the option to opt into features like this. They're just turned on for us automatically. In Netflix, there used to be, I'm pretty sure there used to be a play next video button, and that gave us the choice, but they moved away from that, and now we don't have a choice. It's just going to start playing unless we go out of our way to stop it. And that's a key takeaway from this. We should all be expecting app vendors to allow us to opt into features if we want, but not to automatically opt us in and make it so hard, or in some cases not even possible, to opt back out of them. So hopefully this content has raised your awareness of the addictive nature of many of these applications and got you to stop and pause and think about how they're affecting your life. If you're interested in learning more about this, I highly recommend the book Your Happiness Was Hacked by Vivek Wadhwa and Alex Selkover.